Apparently once upon a time these used to be fountains.
Hey guys, this is the Mall Fox here, and today I'm going to show you guys what used to be known as the Atlanta Galleria, also known as the Cobb Galleria Specialty Shops, located across the street from the Cumberland Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. History for this mall starts in the early 1970s when developers saw the huge success that the Cumberland Mall was experiencing. Ideas were being tossed around about building a complex that featured office, housing, restaurant, and retail to complement the existing Cumberland Mall, which is still a very successful mall today. By late 1980, plans had been finalized with hopes for 5 office towers and a 250,000 square foot mall anchored by a specialty department store, in addition to a massive hotel tower as an anchor. Ground was broken in December 1980, and it was humorously stated that the developer for the project, Trammell Crow, flew into town and stayed only long enough to have a cocktail reception and dinner with various community and business leaders and then flew out. He was not present for the actual groundbreaking itself. The mall opened on November 10th, 1982 without its planned specialty department store anchor. The Waverly Hotel officially opened on April 15, 1983, but an official grand opening ceremony was not held until June 4th, with Gary Sane, director of marketing for the hotel, saying that they did not want to have a grand opening until any potential problems were ironed out. Some tenants that occupied the mall in 1983 included Fuji's Hair Salon, Ruby Tuesday, Cafe Milan, National Bank of Georgia, and Hair Europa. Now, for those with a keen eye, I mentioned Hair Europa. In this footage, which was shot on March 23rd, 2024, you may notice that Hair Europa still actually operated here during this footage. One of the things that this mall is known for in various communities is its closed movie theater, which opened on May 6, 1984, and it was an 8-screen cinema. It was closed in April of 2004 due to a competing cinema opening nearby, and it's located to our right now, and we're going to peer into it. It has some super cool neon. So the Galleria Mall, this place, was a 2-level mall that connected directly to the Waverly Hotel, and its purpose originally was to complement and offer different, more upscale and boutique offerings that wouldn't be offered at the Cumberland Mall across the street. The problem is, malls popped up all over Atlanta during the 1970s into the 1990s, and unfortunately, given Cumberland Mall's status as a fully fledged mall with 4 department stores, and since I don't believe Galleria's true intentions to operate as a luxurious boutique mall ever came to fruition, the mall never did gain a specialty anchor like intended, the mall struggled by the time of the 1990s. Whilst the mall struggled, Cobb County was looking for a place to build a new convention center. By May of 1991, they had narrowed it down to 4 potential locations, all of them near the intersection of I-285 and I-75, which is where this mall is located. The one being favored was the Galleria Specialty Mall, with plans to remove the mall's upper level and replace it with convention space, in addition to the construction of an additional building for said convention center use. The county confirmed the Galleria site as the chosen place for the first time in June of 1991. However, the county was very indecisive about where the convention center would go, since certain issues kept arising with the Galleria site. One of these issues was a dispute between parent company Morrison's Cafeteria, which owned 3 eateries inside the mall during the time. Despite multiple back and forths between mall owners, the county, and Morrison's Cafeteria, the site was finally confirmed for the new convention center in March of 1992. The top floor and 18 acres of land was sold to the Cobb County Government Authority on March 27, 1992 for $10 million. Shortly after this, tenants on the top floor were relocated to the bottom floor, and the top floor was closed for the construction. It's stated that 14 stores closed on the upper level. The targeted opening was late 1993 for the new convention center, and the lower level mall would stay open as construction underwent. Ground was broken on the new convention center on Friday, June 12, 1992. On January 15, 1994, the new Galleria Convention Center, which included the upper floor that we're looking at right now, and the convention center building itself, was shown off to the public for the first time with its grand opening ceremony. As far as I could tell, even with the redevelopment and them adding the convention center on the upper floor, and the big anchor, which this mall finally got, being the convention center, this mall, in terms of the specialty retail part of it, still struggled into the late 1990s. I don't think this mall ever did well past the 1990s. According to the papers, in 2000, Cobb County acquired the entire mall for $4.6 million. Keep in mind that Cobb County has already owned the upper floor of this mall since 1992, so this likely just included the lower level of the mall. But now, at this point, they owned the entire mall, and it would lead into what would happen next. I'm just gonna throw in right here real quick that these used to be fountains. those brick planters, they used to be fountains and they drop into a hole that they have since filled in. Roughly where that blue tile is right there, but it wasn't the blue tile, it was behind the blue tile, like under the planter. This same water feature also ran all the way to the elevator, and apparently it followed the frosted blue tile glass. The link to JT's blog, Sky City, on this mall is going to be linked in the description. According to an article written in late March 2005, the mall was stated to be only 62% leased, with more leases expiring soon. The plan at the time included creating a pedestrian-friendly environment with village-esque buildings, small retail boutiques and cafes, wide sidewalks, street lights, water fountains, and public art installations in an outdoor-type environment. However, such a redevelopment never came to fruition, and the mall would continue to exist by some miracle until it was announced that at the end of May 2025, the Cobb Galleria shops would close permanently to the public. So that footage that we just watched was shot in March of 2024. So let's take one last walk through the Galleria Specialty Shops in May of 2025. The plan for the property going forward is that the mall is going to be gutted and potentially demolished for an expansion of the existing convention center. But as it sits, that's all the history for this mall, and I guess I can just share some personal thoughts I have with this property and whatnot. I'm very glad that over the last couple of years, I've been able to visit this mall several times because, you know, its vintage aesthetics and charm just cannot be matched anywhere in the state of Georgia or in Atlanta. There are no vintage malls left in Atlanta besides two malls that are in relatively sketchy areas, the Greenbrier Mall and the South DeKalb Mall. I've been to those two before, but they will never have videos on this channel, I don't think. And those three malls, you know, those two and this one, the Cobb Galleria Specialty Shops, those are the only three vintage malls really left in the city of Atlanta. And with the Cobb Specialty Shops closing, another vintage mall bites the dust. It's kind of crazy to think that when this mall was built, a lot of the malls in Atlanta looked absolutely spectacular. I mean, take a look at this picture of the Cumberland Mall. This is what the Cumberland Mall across the street used to look like. And, you know, none of that exists anymore. Malls today look very bleak, they're very sterile, they're white and gray, and they look modern, and that's what they need to do to survive into the future. But then we lose places like this. The brick planter, the fountains, all of these things get removed. And this mall is a brilliant example of all of those things put together in one. And it's nothing short of a miracle that this mall somehow managed to stay open until May 31st, 2025, when it officially closed to the public. I mean, that's just unheard of. Like, malls like this, you typically see die out after the recession. Like, this was a very special mall, and I'm very glad to have documented it properly with its history pretty much fully intact. I mean, I did a lot of research on this place. And I'm gonna miss it. This is definitely one of my favorite malls I've ever visited out of the almost 230 malls I've been to. I guess one more personal little funny thing I can throw into this video is, you know how Subway has that foot-long cookie that they sell? My first ever time trying it was at this mall. Oh, and really quick, I was very lucky and I got in contact with the property manager at this place. And do you see those plexiglass things that say Galleria Specialty Mall? Yeah, I got 5 of those sitting in my garage. But that's going to conclude the historical narrative and my narration for the rest of this video. Stick around to the end of the video because I show off more of this mall in its final hours, and you know, I will end up showing some historical newspaper clippings at the end as well as some really gorgeous photos. If you guys like this video and you want to see more, consider hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell, that way you never miss an upload, and leaving a like on this video. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any stories that you guys want to share with me about this mall. Maybe you went here as a kid, maybe you went here as after a sporting event or something. I love reading all the stories about these places. Or if you guys just want to leave me a nice comment to read, I read all the comments. And otherwise, stay tuned for the next mall video. I'll see you guys in the next one.